What's going on, guys? Squeebs and crew back with a brand new episode. We're 1 week, 2 weeks into the NBA playoffs because we
2 weeks,
last
man.
week, yeah, 2 weeks. We talked about the plans, kind of. We talked about our predictions for the NBA playoffs. That all happened last episode. Now we're in this. We're in the neck of things. I mean, a couple teams have moved on to the second round.
Some people got sent to Cancun. Talk your shit, Squeebs. Talk your shit.
You know what? I was planning on coming on here, doing the whole Celtic rant, and this job's not finished. We got through the first series. It's what I expected. I told you what was going to happen. I said they weren't going to win. They weren't going to win a game.
I thought 6.
I said 5. I said they weren't going to win it in Boston. They weren't going to win a game in Boston. I stuck on that. That was the thing I just kept hammering. They were not going to win a game in that Garden. There was no possible way. The Nets are, but I will say this. I think the Celtics are the only team that could have done that because how they play defense. I don't think the Heat could have swept the Nets. I don't think the Bucks could have swept the Nets. And I don't think the Sixers could have swept the Nets.
I think out of the 3 teams, Bucks go to 6, Heat go to 7, and 76ers lose.
I'll tell you what. The team, obviously the Celtics have been impressive. Obviously that they've been the highlight. But a team that's impressed me, I know they didn't play a superior team, but the Miami Heat have really impressed me, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, the way they played the Hawks, who I don't think they are that good of a team, but they just closed it out last night without Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. But they also Victor Oladipo came out of nowhere.
Yep. But here's the thing. They didn't play the last 2 games without Lowry, and then last night without Lowry and Butler. 2 starters, 2 big players with their big 3. And they won the series in 5. That's pretty impressive, to be honest.
That is impressive, but why haven't they been playing Victor?
I don't know. I think it was a thing where a lot of teams that have good players like that have been through injuries stick to their rotation and not want to break out of it. When an injury comes, it's next man up, and it was his time to shine. And I mean, it could have gone any way. He could have gone out there for 20 minutes and scored 4 points, but he made his shots. Now he's probably going to be probably 7th man now, I guess.
I mean, I hate to say it, I think the Heat are always good at finding undrafted or play rookies.
Yeah.
And they're playing like 4 guys I couldn't name you right now.
Yeah, I think now it's like for the Heat, it's like they're gonna have probably, because they're gonna play the winner of what, Sixers Raptors.
Yeah, they're gonna play the Raptors.
Shut up. So they're probably gonna start their series Sunday or Monday. So they've got like 3 or 4 days off. I think either way, I think one of Lowry or Butler is gonna sit the first game, which is gonna open up more minutes for Oladipo. And I think no matter what, even with their full roster, I would say Hero's still the first man off the bench, and then probably Duncan. But Oladipo will be there. He'll get his 15 minutes.
I hope after this postseason, I just want to talk to Victor about his future career.
I like him a lot. I think he's a good player.
I know. I just need to talk to him and see where his mindset is, because I know a place.
No, I think he'll stay in the Heat next year for sure.
But he's not going to keep getting these little minutes, Yeah,
but he's still battling. I think he's got to have a full season of playing. He's not just gonna go back to playing 38 minutes a night.
Right, but also my thing is, eventually Duncan, or I guess you can say Hero, is going to need to be a starter next to Jimmy, and neither are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Hero, he's that kind of guy where I don't think he's a starter.
Really?
Yeah, because he doesn't. He's not a two-way player. He's not a facilitator. He's a scorer off the bench. I mean, that's who he is. It's who he'll always be. So
right. So
I think
you're saying
I think Duncan's more likely to start. But I don't.
Then where do you put Victor? Because you don't want Jimmy playing the 3 the whole game, do you? Because their lineup's already small. Ben's an undersized center.
I think Victor. Well, what they would do if I would say you start Lowry, Duncan, and Butler, But who starts now at the 2 guard?
Like I said, there's 4 guys.
No,
but we don't know.
Who's been starting at the 2?
I don't know. I really don't know. NBA Miami Heat.
It's because it's been like when Lowry was playing, it was Lowry, it was Butler, it was Adebayo. Who was starting next to Butler?
I think it's Gabe Vincent, to be honest.
Nah, he didn't start starting until Lowry was out. I'm blanking on a player on their team right now.
Yeah, because that's how it is. Like they play these guys that, like, no offense to them.
Are you sure Duncan hasn't been starting?
I'm leaning towards he hasn't, and it's kind of sad.
I'll see it right away and I'll know who it was. Strus has been starting at the 2. That's who it is. Max Strus, which I think he's a great player. He's a great shooter. But I don't think he's a player that's going to be on the team long term. I don't know. We'll see. But no, I mean, if I was the Heat, Lowry, Butler, Strus, Adebayo, I think you could bring Oladipo off the bench and Hero and all those guys to the bench. I don't see why not. But back to the Celtics and Nets. Do we get our respect?
From who?
From everybody. Like, the Celtics come in, I mean, as one of the hottest teams in the NBA. They had a terrible first half of the season, and people kind of wrote us off in a way.
They did.
You know, we didn't duck the Nets. Nets came to us, and I think they were like the favorite. Well, we were the favorite, but the public favorite was the Nets to win the series.
It was, sadly.
Got swept. I think the Celtics are the best team in the NBA. I think they're the best team in the league right now. In the playoffs, I think they're the best team.
With injuries to the other 2 teams, I could possibly argue, yes, you're the best team.
I think put Middleton on the team. I still think we're the best team. I don't care about Middleton.
Arguably, yes. I'll argue that one's for sure. And I think you're that much higher.
You look at a team like Golden State, who I think is a really good team, and they were my pick to win the whole thing. I think the Celtics, with the guard play that they have that can play defense, I think they can stop a team like the Golden State Warriors. I think the defensive – I mean, you look at the Celtics and the defensive-minded players they have with Jaylen Brown, Smart, and then Jason Tatum, which I'll get to. I think Jason Tatum's the best two-way player in the NBA. I think he's – right now, he's the best two-way player in the NBA. Give me someone who's better. You got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Then you've got Robert Williams, who they didn't expect to come back. Now you've got him. He's going to start getting more minutes. Now he's got a whole week to rest out and get way better. Then he's going to get back into the starting lineup, and then we're pretty much, I mean, watch out, Bucks, because, I mean, with him back there, Tatum and Brown can ease off a little bit, guarding Giannis. And I don't know, man. I think Tatum's the best two-way player in the NBA. And I think top five. I think top five. It's just not a question anymore, because if you look at the top five players in the NBA, you know, I'm not going to count LeBron because I think he's getting older, and I think I'm trying to not exclude him. I'm trying to get to the aspect of the younger crew that's coming in.
I agree with that statement.
Who I think the top five players moving forward will be. I think Steph Curry's still a top five player.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joel Embiid's a top five player.
Yeah.
I think Giannis is a top five player.
I'm there with you.
I still think Kevin Durant's a top five player.
Okay.
And I think it's Jason Tatum. Yeah, you can argue Luka. You can argue Luka and these guys, but Luka and these guys don't play defense. Jason Tatum plays defense. Jason plays a two-way player. He plays both sides of the ball. And he's a stud at doing it. He is a top five player moving forward in this league.
He is a top five player in the league. Will I give him the top two-way player role? No.
Who is?
You got Drew Holidays. You got DeMarcus Smarts.
Marcus, I'm talking about two-way. I'm talking about combined. As
Jimmy
a whole
Butler.
Player, two-way player in the NBA. You're going to say Marcus Smart and Drew Holiday better than Jason Tatum? What?
Drew Holiday's playing offensive defense now. What do you mean?
Not better than what Jason Tatum's doing on offense and defense.
Paul George, when he's out there.
Oh, give me a break.
What do we always say?
Great.
All right. You're Jason Tatum high is high. He's top
Give me-
5 in the league. He's top 5 in the league. We agree. But that two-way is that's every night he has to guard the best defender and then has to go on the other end and dog walk him. He did that one series. He did that one series against Kevin Durant, which is warranted. But he's got him then. So if you're saying he's the best two-way, he's guarding Giannis next series. That's what you're telling me.
Here's the thing.
He's guarding Giannis next series.
But here's the thing.
And doing it again.
But here's the thing. The greatness of the Celtics.
He doesn't have to guard Giannis.
He doesn't have to.
Right.
Because of how great that he can. And he did it to Kevin Durant. He did it half the series. But to win a championship, you got to do it collectively. With all the talent you have, collectively, this is the best team in the league.
I would say this. For me to give him two-way, it would have needed to be – I would have liked him to play against the Heat sooner so then he could go at Jimmy Butler. Or he can go at, I guess –
I mean, I think there –
Or a better representation if the Chicago Bulls did pull it out, he would guard DeMar or Zach LaVine.
Right.
I would love that to say that he's the best two-way player. That's how I would play.
I think there's a real opportunity from what I've seen from the Sixers. Depending on the health of the Heat, I don't. That would be interesting. I think the Heat could beat them.
Oh, you know how I feel. I tweeted how I felt about the Sixers.
I think the Heat can beat the Sixers. You know, I'm with everybody. I think we're all collectively, as sports fans, you know, outside of Philly, in agreement that we're all rooting for the Raptors. I will say it's going to be pretty difficult to win 2 more in a row. It's probably going to be the Sixers Heat. I would say the Heat have a pretty decent shot, depending on because that was a fairly
even series.
No, it was a fairly weird thing that Jimmy Butler was just randomly out with knee soreness out of nowhere. So that kind of worries me a little bit. I don't know what the deal with that is.
Truthfully, you know how I feel about that.
You think they were just chilling? You think it was a minor thing? They said, you know what, we're up 3-1. Let's give them. Maybe.
I mean, I think it worked out no better than it could.
No.
All right, Victor. The Jimmy's out.
Right.
It's your time to shine. Let's see if you got a little bit in the tank. He has in the tank. Now we have a X factor.
Right.
A next X factor that the next series has to plan for. So either the Raptors or the Sixers have to plan for Jimmy, Kyle, Tyler dunking off the threes, Bam Adebayo doing his thing, and now Victor coming out of nowhere. Yeah, genius play. Eric Spoelstra.
I'm hoping the Heat. I'm hoping Jimbo is good, but who's winning the East?
I told you it's between you and the Bucks.
Who's winning the East?
I told you between you and the Bucks. I'm not choosing that now.
So
nope,
you're kind of actually. You know what? So I'm gonna get non-biased out of it. I agree with you. The winner of the Celtics-Bucks series will be in the final.
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't want to say it's y'all and then jinx y'all, and then I don't want to say it's the Bucks and lose.
I think the winner of that series will be the finals. I agree with you, to be honest.
I'll go one step further. I think the winner of that series wins the championship.
Wins the championship. Wow.
Wins the championship.
Well, I'll agree with you there, unless it's the Bucks and Warriors. I think the Warriors. I would pick the Warriors over the Bucks. That's pretty much how far I'll go.
I don't like that matchup for the Warriors.
I don't like that matchup for the Bucks.
Firepower, yes, but I don't like that matchup for the Warriors.
I don't like that matchup for the Bucks at all because a lot of people say when there's a big man that's so dominant and you don't have one, that team's got the advantage. Sometimes it's the other way around. Where
you're correct.
It's a give me effect. It just depends which team has it. I think it'd be a good series, but I would probably take the Warriors. I would say right now, I said Warriors were my final pick. I'm gonna go Celtics right now, then Warriors, then Bucks.
I'll go Celtics, Bucks, Mavs, Warriors.
Mavs.
I think the reason the Warriors lose is because Jordan Poole is not going to be able to maintain like a Steph Curry or Clay could maintain those levels of play. And we all been saying like Clay still needs, like he's had some spurts, but he still needs that time.
Let's move over to that series and talk about the Warriors because there's a big question mark, and I don't know if we're going to find out tonight. This is probably go out tomorrow. So But tonight it's going to be a pretty interesting thing because apparently Steph Curry is fully healthy. He's getting the 38 minutes. Do you put him in the starting lineup? What do you do there? What do you think?
You play that def lineup.
But you can't start that lineup.
Why can't you?
Because
why can't you? It's just for like a good 3-minute run, then we'll switch it out.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't know, because a couple of days ago I was on this thing where it's like,
what all-star are you putting on the bench for Jordan Poole?
I'm saying I get that 100%, but I was always on the thing where it's like, if Seth Curry on the bench, who cares? Like who gives a crap?
I think Seth Curry kind of cares.
You think he does?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I would imagine you built your reputation up. You get hurt. This guy takes off, and they're like, "Yeah, we're never gonna put you back in."
I mean, I would honestly, if it was my decision, I would probably just bring Jordan Poole off the bench. Like,
no matter, it's how are we trying to spread the touches?
Because the thing is
it was shown. It was shown Clay one time was not happy.
Well, here's the thing, though. You brought up a good point of like just play the death lineup. The problem with that is, and I think Steve Kerr kind of said it, and not said it, but like kind of went around it. Was, I mean, we're looking in a couple of weeks getting Wiseman back, so you've got to play the Looney lineup because that's kind of how you're going to play when Wiseman comes back. You're going to put Wiseman there, so you got to put Jordan Poole in a situation to come off the bench now because he's going to have to do it later. Because you're going to have to run the lineup of Steph, Clay, Wig, Dre, and Wiseman. Those are your 5 best players. So, yeah, as much as I love Jordan Poole and what he's done, he's a great shooter. He's a great player. He's a great young player, but he's not a starter.
I think he is exactly where you put Tyler Herro.
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
I think he had the perfect matchups of getting hot the first 2 games. It was just like, oh, wow, he's super hot. But the game plan going in was no Steph starting. We'll heavy Clay over there.
Yep.
F that Poole guy. He's only get 16 and he got 30. Like, oh, shit, he's not going to do it twice. He did it twice. Like, oh, now we got a re-game plan. And then since then, it's like his numbers went down to like 20s. And then Steph's went up to 20. And eventually we're going to get a Clay. If they go to game 6, we know game 6 Clay's different. So you're right. Poole's the one that's going to have to be the beneficiary of the suckiness. But it's, if you look at it, they have a great second unit.
Exactly.
If he goes there.
I think he'll be fine. Suns Pelicans last night. I don't know if anyone watched that game. If anyone follows me on Twitter, I was pretty freaking heated of what happened at the end of that game.
Mikal Bridges.
I think it's something we've talked about it before, and as much as I'm betting on the game and it's about not covering the numbers, but if you're up 10 points with 30 seconds left, throw the ball out.
I agree with you.
That's where it comes to the front runner thing of like, I always talked about this with LeBron and other teams that do this. Stop showing off. Just end the game and go play another game. It's going to be hard for me to not, in Smoothie King Arena, hammer Pelicans money line on tomorrow night. I will be slamming the Pelicans money line in Smoothie King Arena tomorrow night. This game is going to 7. And it's going to be up to Devin Booker to figure out if they want to win this series or not, because what they did last night, they've lost game 6. I can tell you that right now. They've lost game 6 already. And I'll tell you what, as much as Devin Booker wants to run across the court and say, I'm back, I hope you're actually back and you're not just, because if he comes in tomorrow night and gets injured again, it's beyond me.
Is he supposed to play?
You not see the video where he's running across the court at the end of the game? I'm back. Go to bed, dude. Give me the Pelicans. I still think the Pelicans have a shot to win the series. I think this game goes to game 7. I think we're going to see game 7 on Sunday night for sure. And then the Suns, man. I don't know. If Devin Booker plays tomorrow night, I still think the Pelicans have a shot. I still think the Pelicans have a chance.
If I am, first of all,
Because
we're not
now,
first of all, we're not talking about a 1 seed in a fight with a 9 seed. Technically.
Exactly. And you're trying to showboat. You're up 3-2 against the 8 seed, a team that won 28 less games than you in the regular season. And you're potentially going to a game 7. Potentially. You got to take care of business tomorrow night. But you're you're running your mouth and showboating. I'm telling you, man, this is what happens. Give me the Pelicans tomorrow night. Sunday in Phoenix. It's going to be interesting.
Squeebs, imagine this. I know this is going to be super hypothetical, but just let me ride this moment of story with you. Imagine if this was the Lakers in the same situation. Boy, I'd be fucking awed.
If what situation would you be in? What
like they've somehow made it into, and they're now the 3-2 team, and he's saying I'm back in that situation. Ooh, yeah. I'd be so hyped.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans, Smoothie King Arena. I'm gonna be lit for that tomorrow night.
If I'm Zion, I'm pleading to play. I mean, pleading. Like, give me 10 minutes.
I always thought, if they were in a situation of winning a series like this, that they would, speed up a little bit. I saw him win no dunk. I mean,
dude, just 10 minutes. 10 minutes, man. How can we not give him 10 minutes? Hey, you're the 8th man on the rotation. If we come to you, be ready. All right, Zion, foul trouble. Herb Jones in foul trouble. Get in there. Changes everything. Because no one, and you know it, I know it, no one on that Suns team can guard him.
No. But we'll see. Tomorrow night, game 6, and then potential game 7 on Sunday night if the Pelicans win tomorrow night.
Electric.
Warriors we talked about, they're probably going to sweep tonight, so that'll be over with by tonight.
And then so I'm gonna Jokic.
Bucks tonight as well. They're going to sweep as well. I don't like betting wise. If you're going to be on my page tonight, I will not be betting NBA because these spreads are ridiculous. I expect both teams to come out and sweep. And then we got the Pelicans tomorrow, and then we've got the Grizzlies and Timberwolves, where 3-2 they got a dub last night. Grizzlies beat the Timberwolves.
Second time this series.
Another blown lead.
Dude, like, out of all, you know how we keep saying you gotta stop talking and play? Like, Devin Booker's like saying I'm back and hasn't touched the floor since game 1. Like, the Minnesota Timberwolves need to shut the fuck up.
Did you see what I tweeted last night?
No, what'd you say?
I said, let me pull it up. So I said, it feels like the Timberwolves don't want to win the series. If anything, the Timberwolves have given the series to the Grizzlies. In that sense, if I was the Grizzlies, I would send a basket of fruit and chocolates to the locker room after the game. It's only right. You have to give them something. I
mean, just all fucking. I don't know why I'm drawing blank to his name. Towns wants to do is just a crowd. Yep. And then Anthony Edwards is the only person not affected by anything. And D'Lo to the part.
He made a big shot where I thought the game was going to overtime.
That's what I'm saying. Anthony Edwards was not affected, but
then the Timberwolves came out.
Beverly's telling people he's too small. Get the fuck out of here, dude! Like, let's play basketball. You're losing now.
We talked about this. I talked about this multiple times. It's the experience factor that's going. You give me, and I said this over on another podcast. You give me an experienced player, veteran on the Timberwolves. This series might have been over in 5.
Beverly should have been that guy, but he's too busy to worry about talking rather than playing. That's the sad part.
I think the Timberwolves are more talented than the Grizzlies.
They are, dude. What do you mean?
Do I think this series is over? No. We will be getting a game 7 for sure. And it will be a game 7 for the ages. The Timberwolves will win on Friday night. I promise you that. They will win Friday night. I will be on the Timberwolves. This game will go 7 games, and may the best coach win at that point.
Hey, we're going to ride together at the bar?
Oh, yeah. Timberwolves Friday night for sure. I'll be all over the Timbies. So that series Game 6 Friday night. We'll see about Game 7.
So we're saying there's going to be 2 Game 7s in the West?
I'm hoping so. I hope the Pelicans can get there, and I hope the Timberwolves can get there. I've got them both underdogs to win the series. One of them better get there because I don't want to see the Suns and the freaking. And by the way, if the Grizzlies beat the Timberwolves, they've got no shot against the Warriors. I will tell you that right now. They got no shot against the Warriors.
I don't know. They do play the Warriors tough, though.
The Warriors won't put up with that crap.
Oh, no, not one shot.
And I'll tell you why they won't beat the Warriors. Because the Grizzlies can't play a full game. The Warriors will not let up on you. If they're up 12, they're going to beat you by 40. So
I can't wait for the third quarter. If Memphis wins, every third quarter is going to be the reason they lose against the Warriors.
The Grizzlies can't show up in the first half. If the Warriors do what the Timberwolves have been doing, they're done. They're going to lose by 30 to the Warriors. So I think the Timberwolves are a better matchup for the Warriors. That's all I'm saying. Is that all the series is? So we got the East. The Heat are moving on to face the winner of Sixers Raptors. We got the Bucks. Well, if the Bucks win tonight, we got Celtics Bucks. That series will start.
That's highly expected.
If the Bucks win tonight, which we're gonna be, if this happens, I want the Bucks to win tonight so we can get lit on when we hang out. If the Bucks win tonight, series starts Saturday night for the Celtics and Bucks.
That's electric. That's electric.
And then the West Warriors win tonight. They're gonna play the winner of Timberwolves and Grizzlies. And then we got the Mavericks series, Mavericks and Jazz. Mavericks are up 3-1 or 3-2.
3-2. It's over.
We both picked the Mavericks.
It's over. It's over. Jazz are breaking up. I don't know who they're going to trade. It's over.
Who said this? I've been talking about this for years, that this team is so fraudulent in the playoffs.
Honestly, it's on Donovan Mitchell now.
Well, I think he's leaving.
No, it's on him because you can see he does not want to pass any of his teammates the ball.
I think he's leaving.
Where's he going, though? Where does he fit in, you know?
Donovan Mitchell.
Because, what type of – we never really classified Donovan Mitchell as a type of player, you know?
Yeah, that's true. He's a different breed, I feel like. He's kind of
because he's an undersized – he's like a Dwayne Wade-sized guard.
Yeah, I would say he's in the middle of a Jimmy Butler and
he doesn't play enough defense though.
Right, yeah, he doesn't. Where would
his offense is like 23 points to maybe a great 38-9.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's lower than Bradley Beal.
That's true. Where would he fit though?
Exactly. So you got to think Bradley Beal fits almost anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will say this. Bradley Beal has lost his chance to be at the Celtics.
Yeah, it's gone now because Marcus Smart.
That's absolutely gone because the way they play, Beal doesn't play that way.
Nope.
So
Marcus Smart solidified he's the third guy now.
Right.
He might not score enough to be a third guy, but they'll make it up somewhere else. He's their point guard.
Yeah, Boston will stick with their core for the next couple of years. I think they'll give Robert Williams his, and then they might fluctuate with Tice and Horford. You know, we'll see.
Try to find a different four that fits them so that Tatum doesn't have to play it. Yeah.
Maybe Tice will go. I don't know what they want to do with Derek White either. I think the Celtics, what they got to do next year is kind of figure out what that bench is going to be. Maybe get a bench scorer because they don't really have one. Like maybe get someone like a Tyler Hero or whatever it is. But
where's the Donovan Mitchell go?
I don't know. I can't. I don't want to say something that I don't believe. I just can't think of a team.
Maybe potential pair him with Dame. Maybe.
That's
I had him before with CJ, and look how that worked.
You know, I don't love that. I could see Donovan Mitchell possibly. You know, you look at a team like the Kings with him and De'Aaron Fox. That could always be something.
Okay.
You know where I actually think he would fit. Go put him in Oklahoma City Thunder with Shea.
Why were we about to say the same thing? I'm
Let
like, put him in
him-
Oklahoma.
Yeah, let him go to OKC with Shea and Josh Giddey and those guys.
You know,
I
like,
think
you got
I
like
think
first
he'd have.
picks coming.
I think he'd have fun.
He at least put up
I
some
don't think
highlights.
I don't think he has fun in Utah.
No, that's a business, dude, and he's just.
I don't think he has a good time.
Not at all. Not at all. Ever. Maybe
yeah,
like Detroit.
Yeah, nah.
Indiana.
Nah. They lost. What they still it's a bonus maybe, but I don't even know what their Indiana's doing anymore. But so we'll see what happens. These series will finish off the next couple days.
Not one.
Well, yeah, because we might have a couple game sevens.
Raptors
and Raptors. So yeah, so we got the Raptors, Sixers, we got Timberwolves and Grizzlies, and then Pelicans, Suns. Those are a couple series that could fluctuate throughout the weekend.
You know how I feel about the Raptors. I'm all in on that.
That's tomorrow night, right? Yeah, tomorrow.
It's gonna be tomorrow and Sunday.
Potentially, yeah. So we'll see. We'll probably hop on here next week or something like that to recap what's going on, and then we'll eventually get hopefully the conference finals. I mean, these NBA playoffs are so long, dude. It drains me at some points.
Dude, it's been so much though. We forgot it was the NFL draft tomorrow.
Right, NFL draft. But yeah, NBA, we'll get through it. I enjoy it because I'm getting at least 5 or 6 more games with the Celtics. That's going to be exciting.
Happy for you, bro.
But yeah, NFL draft tomorrow night actually, which if you didn't text me about it, I wouldn't even known it. And with what I do, I should know the NFL draft is tomorrow. I mean, I knew it was coming up, but it's like
it just came as like it's the excitement.
Right.
It is the first football, but it's still like normally it's like NFL draft, who's our team getting?
And I will say I think part of it is, and someone else said this morning on the NFL Network, a lot of the excitement of the NFL draft comes from what players are coming in. You don't really see the electric guys that are going top 3, these quarterbacks. There's not much of that this year.
I think it's because they're more blue collar.
Right. I just don't think there's an excitement for what's going to happen. But I think with saying that, I think the draft is going to be exciting for the fact that we don't know where anyone's going. I mean, I was trying to do my mock draft this morning, and I have no idea. I know a couple things. I mean, a lot of things have changed in the past couple of days because you had Aiden Hutchinson, who was the slam dunk number 1 pick of this draft, going to the Jags. And in the past 2 days, I don't know if you realized, it's looking like it's going to be Travon Walker from Georgia.
Do you see the odds changing him?
Yeah, so defensive line from Georgia, Travon Walker, who had a good year in Georgia. I think it's more of Aiden Hutchinson. I don't know if you saw last week, maybe he did an interview with Barstool, I'm pretty sure it was, and he kind of leaned on that he wanted to go to Detroit. And sometimes when that stuff happens, I think teams like Jacksonville or whatever it is, they don't want to draft a player like that. I mean, you're not going to draft someone that maybe the interviews didn't go great or whatever it is. I would say that they're going to settle for Jamal Walker at 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then Detroit will take Aiden Hutchinson at 2. And those would be the top 2 picks, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he is a Michigan guy, so it's
so we'll see.
Good play on him by that.
That's probably going to be the top 2 picks. We can go through maybe sleepers, whatever, but we can talk about our picks. I know we have the pick. I'm a Washington Commander fan. We got pick 11, and then you guys got pick 12 right after us. I think you guys have another first round pick, right? 18th, I think, something like that.
We had 15, 16, and 18, and we traded 16 for a first round pick next year to the Saints, because remember we fucked them over, and we still have 2 firsts. Yes.
Okay, so you got pick 12 and pick 18 is what I'm saying.
Yes.
You traded pick 15 to Minnesota, and you traded pick 16 to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna pick right before you, so we're gonna snag whoever you guys want.
That's fine.
I'm just playing. Of what I've seen the past couple months from Washington, of the sources that I have, that it's Chris Olave from Ohio State. That was pretty much, let's bring someone in. to match up with McLaurin. Speaking of Terry McLaurin, a deal's getting done this week. I'm hearing that a deal's getting done long term with Terry McLaurin for Washington. So they're going to try and find him a partner and try and find him from that school of Ohio State, Chris Olave. Now, of what I've heard the last 2 days is that if Garrett Wilson's there, that's who they want.
They want Garrett over Chris?
Ohio State, another Ohio State guy, Garrett Wilson. If he's there, I'm hearing they're going to take Garrett Wilson first. If Garrett Wilson's gone, they're going to take Chris Olave. Now, if both of those guys are gone, I'm hearing the third guy, and his name's been popping around for a while because of defensive-wise, but the Notre Dame guy, safety Kyle Hamilton, I think he's going to be pretty nice. But I'm hearing the Texans want him. So I could see 11, 12, 13 being pretty much the same group of guys, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Hamilton. I hear the Eagles want, I'm pretty sure, who was it? Jameson Williams is who the Eagles want, right?
As a receiver wise, yeah.
Right. So those are pretty much the window of what those picks are going to look like.
We've been linked to the Hamilton,
right.
Sauce Gardner, and then Williams a lot. But now, like you said, the last few days, we've been linked to Jordan Davis.
Georgia defensive line. Yep, that's who I have hit here for the Eagles. He's a good player. I think Georgia is going to pop off a bunch of guys in the first round.
At least five, I think,
yeah,
in my opinion.
I like Jordan Davis a lot. It's not a need for us, but I think it's a good pick for you guys.
Yeah, because if we can get Jordan Davis or one of the other three guys we mentioned, and I know Olave's been mentioning all, and there was one time I saw a mock, we had Wilson, but the way that Wilson's stock's risen, I know it's not possible. I'm fine with Williams. If by the prayer of God, Kyle Hampton drops to us,
right,
snag.
Yeah, those are all good players. I mean, you talk about another receiver that's been, talked about. I think he's the most electric receiver in this draft, and that's Drake London.
Yeah, this is weird. Like, why is he dropping now?
Well, I don't think
he dropped a little bit, but he's in he got back.
Right. So I'm hearing Atlanta wants him back. So you look at pick 10 right before us. I think that's where Drake London will go at pick 10. I'm hearing they want him because you got to look at what happened in the offseason with Calvin Ridley. That's a need for them. So I think it'll be a sleeper. I think it's a good pick. I'm trying to think of sleepers because I've had a whole lot of lists in my name. Obviously these receivers are going to be big. Only one or two of them is going to be good though. So you got to pick the right one or two. The other two are going to end up, okay. You look at Washington, what they did 4 or 5 years ago with Josh Doxson. That was a brick pick, an absolute brick pick. And I hope that doesn't happen this year because we can't afford a brick pick, especially.
Have you seen what we did?
No, but I'm talking about in the first round, you're going to take a receiver, which, it's pretty risky to do that sometimes. You got to be right. You got to be right because you don't want to have a situation, no offense at all. I'm just using as an example of what the Eagles did a couple of years ago with Justin Jefferson.
Not once, but we did twice. Right,
but at that stature of letting a receiver like that go, you got to pick the right one. And Washington's going to have pretty much a pick of 3. If Drake London goes 10, you got to pick which Ohio State guy you want. And if you don't want a Ohio State guy, you could maybe go snag Jameson Williams. I don't know. Those are going to be the top guys to go.
What is proven, if it comes down to the 3, that Ohio State and Alabama receivers are going to be solid no matter what. Right. That's been proven.
But we got to talk about these quarterbacks.
What about them?
There's going to be a quarterback going in the first round.
You're not wrong.
It's going to happen. I would probably put my money that the first quarterback taken is probably going to be Malik Willis. That's kind of what
I'm going to agree with you.
That's kind of what I would say. I would link him probably. He's been linked to a lot of teams, but I would say the Saints sitting at 16 right after that whole bunch of receiver duos go. I think Malik Willis, the Saints, makes a lot of sense. You got a guy in Jameis Winston who's probably going to play and start, but I mean, we know what he's capable of. He gets injured a lot, and he's Jameis Winston. So, I mean, getting a guy like Malik Willis is probably a good situation for the Saints.
I think if Kenny Pickett falls to 20, Pittsburgh takes him.
I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's going to go receiver, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
And let Mason Rudolph do its thing, dude?
Wait, who did
they got Mitch.
Yeah, they got Mitch Trubisky,
Mason,
right? Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I mean, the NFL draft is so hard to predict. You can just kind of say what teams need.
Dude, we keep forgetting that this team. I just saw the name. Might just trade them just because they have them and they can go get stuff for them. Jimmy Garoppolo's out there.
Right. Yeah. You look at Jimmy Garoppolo. I think there's a couple teams I would talk about moving up in the draft, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. I think the Chiefs want to move up to that teeny range and get a receiver. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you look at Matt Carrell. That's a guy that I think people are sleeping on at the quarterback position.
I think a team like Washington, and I think another team like Panthers, maybe Giants. Those teams that like have QBs on the roster, but they don't know for sure, can benefit in the second and third round for Matt Corral.
Right. I think if Matt Corral falls in the second round, I think Washington will take him. I think if a guy like Sam Howell from UNC falls, it can't hurt. I mean, you got Carson Wentz, but
I mean, what is proven is the second round, third rounds, they're like, all right, we don't know if we're going to win, but if you give them time, aka Russell Wilson got a training camp.
Right.
Look what happened.
But I mean, look at this draft. Sleepers, like who's going to be a late rounder that's going to, pan out? I'm talking about, let's go first round because I mean, second, third, fourth round sleepers, it's just so hard to predict. There's so many players in the draft. But who's a guy that's going to, people are going to sleep on that it's going to be a top 5 player out of this draft class?
I am going to say a bust. I'm going to say a bust first.
All right, go ahead, your bust. Yeah, go bust.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Why is that?
The way he thinks of himself is how you're supposed to think. He's the best in the draft. But he went on a while back, he went on film saying during the college playoffs, the guys that you see blocking on those edges, I dominated them. So I looked into it. And this one time I actually went back and saw like highlights. People like, no, he didn't. There was plays where those tackles dominated him. Like you can't say shit like that and not back it up. He's a bust. But my bold like sleeper, Derek Stingley.
You like Stingley from the corner from LSU? You think he's good? Yeah.
If he falls, people remember when he was a freshman, like, yeah, this guy's the real deal. Injuries, team success went down. He wasn't playing as much. He's still a guy, like he was guarding Jamar Chase and Jefferson his first year. That's who he had to practice against. People forget that. That's who he was guarding in practice the whole year. And he was All-American. That's my guy. And Eagles, please. Second pick in the first round.
You want to know my bust?
If you say Stingley, I'm going to have to throw my controller or something at you.
And a lot of this comes in of like where they're going to be picked. So what team are they going to be on? So it's kind of it's kind of how they progress as a player. I don't see Aiden Hutchinson being the guy that people think he's going to be.
Oh no,
I truly don't. I think I don't see him as a top like I don't see him being like one of those top guys like Aaron Donald. Of that stature of how they play. I just don't see that from Aiden Hutchinson, especially if they go to the Lions. I don't see that at all. So that would be my bust, I guess, as the number 1 or number 2 pick. I just don't love that. I'd say a guy that I think is going to be overlooked in the draft. I'm going to fly way down for this because I think he's a guy that people are really, really, really not even thinking about because nobody watches those kind of games. And I'm sure, scouts obviously do and know where they're going to be picked. But Western Michigan receiver Skye Moore is a stud. Is an absolute stud. And I would love if he can skip to the second round and Washington snags him because The speed that guy has is unmatched. I mean, 5'10", 190. He's got speed. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a sleeper. I think he's going to be a guy that nobody thinks about, and it's gonna be bad for teams that fly on him and pick other receivers.
I will actually support that pick, and I'll throw another 3 names as receivers. That's gonna also be warranted. Not for the first round, but when you get to that second, third, you need a solid.
If you say the other guy I was thinking of, it'd be funny.
I'll give me 3 chances.
Okay, there's one other guy that there's one other guy that I was thinking of.
Jahan Dotson
from Penn State, yeah, but that's not the guy I was thinking of.
He's a ledger. I think you could throw him in there with more bigger bodies, like you say. I'll put him as a slot with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. That'd be a nice little those type builds, those type bigger receivers.
Before you say that too, I want to say the guy I was thinking of.
Go ahead.
North Dakota State, Christian Watson, 6'4", great length. I think he's a good red zone target.
Same thing as Drake London.
Yeah, I think he's a good red zone target. I think he's a good player.
Same as Drake London.
Uh-huh. Is that how you're thinking of?
Yeah. I was going to say him and George Pickens. I like George Pickens.
I like Pickens too.
Alec Pierce, I only like him because my last name. That's the only reason.
I also would say the Arkansas guy. I think it's like Treylon Burks. I think he's solid.
Wasn't he more of a bigger dude?
He's like 230, 6'1", 6'2", I would say.
Wasn't he supposed to be a tight end, or did he switch positions? Am I just wrong?
I'm pretty sure he was a receiver. I don't know though. There is a tight end though in this draft that I think could be kind of what who's a tight end last year that got drafted? Not Kyle Pitts, because not Kyle Pitts, but whatever. The guy from Colorado State, Trey McBride, I think he's going to be solid. 6'4", he's a big guy.
Don't sleep on the Virginia and Virginia Tech tight ends.
Nah.
No, actually warranted. The Virginia tight end is 6'7", and then the Virginia Tech one's like an athletic freak.
I'll take Trey McBride over him.
Okay, that's your opinion. What about the running backs? We haven't really talked about them. It's not like a deep roster.
Yeah, it's not a deep class for running backs. That's the thing. I just don't love the draft class for the running backs.
I love the first one, but I hope he's not picked too high. I don't want him first round. Breece Hall.
Yeah, I'm not a big Breece Hall guy. I think Washington.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not. I think Washington was looking at him, but that's not. Everyone. If anyone's going to ask me, everyone knows who I'm rooting for. A guy that I think deserves a spot. I love Damian Pierce from Florida. I think he's solid. I think.
Hey, gotta love them Pierces, dude. That's what we do.
He had an unbelievable career at Florida. I think he always played hard. He's a good downhill runner. But I would say the best running back in the draft. It's definitely Kenneth Walker, but.
Isaiah Spiller was a big home run hitter for Texas A&M.
Yeah, I just think Kenneth Walker. He's definitely all in all the best one on the board. But I think Damian Pierce. Then you can look at a guy like James Cook from Georgia. He's good too. Zamir White. It's hard to judge the Georgia guys because they played together. It wasn't really. It was kind of like a 1-2 punch, so it was hard to figure out who was there. I think in the combine, Jim Cook really stood out. I would say. But I would say Damian Pierce is the sleeper for me. But that's kind of biased, but whatever.
Truthfully, I wish the draft was nonstop. So then, it wasn't like Friday we know who we got, Saturday we know who we got. I want all of it out the way instead of waiting until Sunday to watch all the players our teams gets highlights, because that's what I do every year. See who we got, see their highlights, try to hype them up. I remember a few years ago we got Donald Pumphrey as a running back. Watch his highlights. I'm like, he's gonna be Darren Sproles. Great.
No. Yeah, that's you and JJ Arcega-Whiteside too. So get out of here.
He's moving the tight end this year. That's the word. He's moving the tight end. So we're gonna keep him on the roster another fucking year for no fucking reason. God damn it.
Get out of here with that crap. That's pretty much it. We're gonna see what happens. I'm definitely gonna put out a couple sleepers on Twitter tomorrow. Drafts, I think, starts at 7. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's just not an electric draft for me to like get super hype about it. And, only having one pick in the first round. And I know kind of who we're going to take a receiver, hopefully. If we trade out of the first round, I'm not going to watch the draft.
We have 2 picks in the first round.
Yeah, you got 2 picks. You got to at least hit on one of them. You got
there may be something thrown in this room.
You got
see, like right here, might have to put a hole right here.
Well, it's hard. The thing is like you could pick anyone you want. I mean, there's the 4 wide receivers we talked about. Who it just doesn't matter until we hit the field in August.
But our team needs right now. If we can't get a safety or DB and we don't give Tyrann Mathieu the Brinks truck, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
It was a time where we're like, yeah, we're gonna get Kyle Hamilton, so we're not gonna get Tyrann Mathieu, and we didn't pay Tyrann Mathieu, and now he's probably like, I don't want to go there because y'all are thinking about someone else who hasn't even played it down yet, and we're not even gonna get Tyrann Mathieu or Kyle Hamilton now. So, yeah, go Birds.
I just want to get players that can
want to be
and who want to be there. Because, obviously we talked about this a few episodes ago. We'll talk about it more like during the summer, but I think Washington's got a good chance to win this division. And if they can get guys that, buy into what we're doing, I think this team can be one of the best teams in the NFC. But it's got to start with the draft, and it's got to start with how we put these players together. And then it's going to be up to Commander Wentz to see if he can rebuild himself to what he wants to be. And I'll buy into it until I see otherwise. But, I officially, and I if anyone watches this, you'll see me now. After the draft, I think I'm going to bring my box down and, I might get back to doing what I do on the Commander side of representing this team to the best of my ability. And, I've done it for the last 20 years, and hopefully we'll get to a winning program. But it starts with these drafts because these 3rd and 4th round and 5th rounds are so big.
So huge. You either go special teams or you're a superstar. The ceiling is incredible within those rounds.
Yeah, and Washington showed it. I mean, you look at Mclaurin and Gibson and guys like that. I mean, you look at Cam Carrell. Like, the first round means crap, to be honest. You just can't miss in the first round. He's got to do something. He's got to be a guy that can do something.
I think the first round is you should get a bigger check at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. But we can't have a Josh Doctson incident again. That can't happen.
Yeah, I'm sorry for y'all, dude. Y'all did that once. We did like, no, we can beat that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, that was terrible.
But y'all did get a few Cam Sims. Remember he played.
Yeah, I like Cam Sims. He's going to be big this year. It's just he's the 3rd guy. We need to find that second piece, and I'm hoping it's through the draft, and we don't got to spend our money in free and
hopefully a full Curtis Samuel year for y'all too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't even include him right now because it's so you just don't. I mean, it's kind of the same situation with the Ben Simmons situation. Well, what are you doing? What do you mean you can't play? You know what I mean?
I don't know how we went a whole hour without even talking about him.
Because it's so there that it's like I just don't even need to talk about it anymore.
True. Back to Curtis.
Yeah, I mean Curtis Samuels, it is what it is. We'll figure it out. He'll make the team. We'll see what he can do. I mean, if he can beat Curtis Samuel, then that's huge. But if he can't, we got to make sure we get someone else.
I will say this. No matter what our teams fuck up in this draft, we ain't the Cowboys and we ain't the Giants.
And the Giants have a top 5 pick and they'll screw that up for sure.
Yep. And the Cowboys don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I think the Giants will screw this up because and I wrote it down. I'll say it really quick before we end here. The Giants have, I think it's the 4th pick, or I can't exactly remember what pick they have. The Giants have the 7th pick. No, they have 2 picks. They have
no
5,
way.
Yeah, they have 5 and 7. I forgot about that because they got it from the Bears.
They're definitely screwing this one up, dude. Let's go.
If they don't take, and this has been a conversation back and forth, they're going to go with the Alabama guy and Evan Neal. I know that for a fact. And they're going to let Charles Cross, who I think is great, Mississippi State offensive lineman. If they don't pick him, they pick Neal. Oh, gross. I think Charles Cross is the best O-line in the draft. But they have 2 picks, so they can't screw this up that much. They're probably going to pick the corner from Cincinnati.
No. They better not. Oh, dear God, no.
They're going to pick him. Because if I had to go 1, 2, 3, 4, it's probably going to be Trevon Walker 1, Aiden Hutchinson 2. I think Stingley will go 3 to the Texans, and then the Jets are taking the Florida State guy, Jermaine Johnson. So the Giants are going to get the pick of the litter with Charles Cross, Evan Neal, Ahmad Gardner.
I hope Gardner comes out and says like some absurd shit so no one takes him, and then Eagles can snag him.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Like, hey man, my little toe sucks.
But that's pretty much it. So draft tomorrow night. We got a bunch of games tomorrow. Tonight's game is like, hopefully the Bucks sweep it out and the Warriors sweep it out so that we don't got to worry about those games. And then Thursday, NBA for sure. We got some game 6s happening with the Raptors and Sixers, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, and then we got the Suns and Pelicans. We got to finish those series out as well. Let's get to the next rounds. God dang.
I know your team's just sitting there waiting, man. It sucks for y'all, dude.
I saw Jason Tatum posting on Snapchat. He's sitting up in the bathtub, with his kid, playing the Legos, just keeping it cool, chilling out. I love that. But I'm ready to watch some more Celtic basketball because when I watch Celtic basketball, I'm in a great mood. And I watched 4 straight games of just
your team hasn't lost in the playoffs. That's crazy.
Nope. And you know why they haven't lost in the playoffs? Because it's always been next game. That team's mindset is when we beat they swept the Nets. They didn't do throw the ball up in the air, this and that. They walked to the locker room. They did their, I liked that Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant, they're great friends. They didn't take it. They said, oh, great game, blah, blah. They walked to the locker room and they started watching film. It's on the Celtics Instagram page. They swept the Nets. They went back to the locker room and they watched film. Give me the Bucks. Celtics in 6.
Yeah.
Celtics in 6.
Yeah. Well,
you don't agree? You don't agree? Celtics
we
Bucks.
said it.
You just keep saying Celtics or Bucks. You're not going to decide. And
I'm not going to decide.
Yeah, I know why you're not going to decide.
I'm not going to decide. All right. You know why I'm not going to say Celtics? Because we have more fun when we're against each other.
That's true.
I mean, when we ride together, it's like, well, that's great. But you know how much fun we have when we're not together? And you know how much better you feel when you win?
That's true.
So would you rather me be with you or against you?
That's true. We'll see what happens. Hopefully that series starts Saturday night. We'll watch the game together. We'll have a good time. But that's pretty much it. NFL draft tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get this posted tomorrow before the NFL drafts. But I'm gonna post some NFL draft sleepers. We'll see what happens. If you're not following the Twitter, Seth Logger 20, MD Pierce 12, and the TikTok Squeebs and Crew, I post a lot of content there.
You do.
We'll see you next week. We'll talk about NBA, new series, and we'll recap the NFL draft. Our teams, see what we got, see if we're right on our picks because
I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, with limited, looking because I started looking this week. I haven't done a lot of NFL draft, research and stuff like that, but it's going to be interesting. We'll get on next week, talk about who our teams picked and see how we did. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Bleed green, and we'll see you in the next round after the Celtics beat the Bucks in 6 games, and we'll see you next week. Peace.